If you're an adult who loves ballet or wants to love it, Cam and Friends On Demand was made for you. We have over 200 classes and add new ones every month from professional dancers who are all passionate about guiding you through your ballet journey. We're dedicated to ballet, driven by joy, and are here to help you grow at your own pace. Come dance with us. Hi, everybody. I am here today with Allie Christensen.
Hi.
Most of you know who she is. If you don't, check out her YouTube channel. She's amazing. She's a dance movement specialist, like one of the best. Physical, like I don't even, again, I always get your title different because there's so many things you do.
Yeah, I've kind of created what I want to do for the dance world.
Yeah.
There's not always a name for it.
So tell the people how you define what you do.
In short, I say I'm a dance movement specialist.
Great, I said that, yay!
But what I end up doing is helping dancers work out kinks, basically. Whether that's coming back from an injury, spotting before injuries happen, looking at a technical thing you want to do in the studio, or just looking at general weakness. It's figuring out what you need in that moment, and my education continues to get broader and broader, and then I'm able to dial in and say, this is helpful from all these different things. So I have a lot of tools in my tool belt, and I think that's kind of what makes it hard to say, like, oh, she doesn't just do A, B, or C, because if you come in, who knows what we'll do,
right?
So.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with Allie many times, and I came to you with terrible Achilles pain, and in like one session it was gone.
That was great.
Yeah, so she's like, she's the pro. But you also have a ballet background.
I do.
So tell people about your ballet background.
Yeah, I mean, I trained classically. I did some contemporary, and I trained at a little studio in Utah. When I realized that I wanted to try to do something with dance, I moved up to Ballet West in Salt Lake City. And from there, I went and did some contemporary training with Lions Ballet, and I danced a year in Israel, and then I got injured. And it was an injury that was actually there from, I remember going to the doctor, the chiropractor, those kind of things for hip stuff when I was like 11. And they just didn't give me great advice. Nobody told me that you weren't supposed to be in pain as a dancer. It was kind of no pain, no gain. You're not working hard enough. And I just fought through it. So after a year in Israel in a very hip intensive choreography, like super low to the ground, really parallel, my labrum just gave out. It shredded, and I came back and tried to muster through auditions and looking for the next thing. And I hit a low point. I went to an audition, I think it was in Ohio, and I couldn't make it through the audition. I actually left because I was crying, my hip, I couldn't do anything. Yeah. I called my mom, she said, get on a plane. And I said, Mom, I can't walk. And she said, get a wheelchair. So they wheelchaired me to the plane as I was bawling. And I just thought, this is it. Like, I'm never going to be in the dance world again. So I ended up at all these different surgeons and doctors, and it took 2 years to figure out what was going on with my hip. And the doctors told me, you're going to have 3 surgeries, and you're going to end with a hip replacement by the time you're 30. And I was just like, that's not what I want. That's not how I want my life to be. And the thing that kept stumping me was they said movement created it, but no one was giving me solutions how this not to happen again. Right. So I decided not to have the surgery, and that I was going to try to figure out how to not have surgery. I thought I would never be in the dance world again, but at least I wouldn't have to have surgery. And I did. It took me 2 years because the world is not what it is right now. In the dance world, we didn't have the resources. I really don't think 15 years ago, there were people who believed that there were solutions that were so movement-based, and nobody was doing that for dancers. Like, I just didn't know who to reach out to. Yeah. So I kind of became the person that I didn't have, that I needed. So it's been a long story. There have been multiple pretty big injuries in my life that I never would wish on anyone. But every single time, it has taught me to be a better person for you, a better coach. And I kind of come to realize that some of the injury trials that I've had to do and still deal with are what assist me to assist you. So although I don't wish it on anyone, I'm like, okay, I can figure it out so that hopefully you don't have to. go through the same thing.
Make lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I didn't have the help, so let me be the help.
Yeah, totally.
Which I totally understand, especially like, that's why I kind of started YouTube, was I didn't have help at 13, 14, whatever it was. So let me be the help.
Yeah,
so.
Nobody speaks candidly about the dance world, especially back when you were starting.
Oh, goodness, no. I remember like trying to learn how to tie my point shoes and people were like, figure it out.
Yeah,
like,
they just leave you there.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't you have something to say?
Yeah. But, and you've been a part of the Cam and Friends community like since the beginning.
Yeah,
like,
so gratefully.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a nice, beautiful fit for me and what I want to do.
Yeah.
You guys just fit so nicely in that. So I'm so grateful.
It's fun. I mean, and so what do you love about adults specifically, like when you're working? Because you have a lot of private students that are adults.
Yeah, I mean, any given month, I would say that I'm 50 to 70% adults at this point, and I love it. I love that adults are driven. I love that they know what they want. I love that they're brave. So many adults have to start as older people where we're told to do nothing new and that you can't become the master of something if you didn't do it from a child, especially in the dance world. So I think that adults are brave. I think they're confident. I love that they bring their personality into class. It's not working with robots. And for me, dance and movement is about figuring out how your body does what we're asking it to do. And so much of what I learned was copycatting and like visually saying, I'm trying to make my body look like that, not how does it feel?
Right.
And that was something that happened after my hip injury. I came back to take class and it was like I had never danced before. I remembered what it felt like in my body. Like I remember that sensation of my leg here.
Yeah.
And I, no joke, was like, oh, wait, it's like, and it's like, it feels like this, you know? So I realized the cues that I got as a kid, the ones I held on to, those classic, lift from under your leg, pull up, point your toe, and there's just so many kind of blasé things that I still say too sometimes, but they aren't actually what's happening. And as a kid, I just went with it. And I think that's what we do when we train young. And then you get older and things stop working like a 13-year-old's body, and you have to figure out what is actually happening. So I feel like I started with a blank slate, and it was devastating, but in the long run has made me understand what I think is actually happening. And I feel like I had to develop a skill to communicate what that was instead of just what the generations of teachers have passed down as general cues. And I think that helps me get into the adult world a little bit better. And I love because they're creative and they feel what's happening in their body, they communicate it, and they actually evolve a lot faster than kids in some ways.
Yeah.
Because
they have an adult brain.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very enjoyable for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the thing too, especially with having worked with you, is you bring a joy to it. It's not a scary thing working with you. Again, you like tailor, all right, let's try this. If this doesn't work, let's do this. So you bring such a joy to what you do.
Thank you.
And that's one of the reasons we love you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I was saying to you before we started this, I was like, I don't even remember how I met you.
Yeah, I think it was, I had a podcast, and I think I just reached out to you. It was like, I wonder if this amazing dancer who's like speaking her mind would want to come on my tiny podcast. I don't even remember if it was during COVID or not, but like, it was just a shot in the dark. And she said, yeah. And I remember calling one of my best friends. I was like, Kathryn Morgan just said yes to me. Like, I was like, I can't believe this. She's so kind and generous. And since then, and then you moved to California.
Yeah, and we're super close.
Yes,
so.
And I said, I'm 15 minutes from you.
Great.
Yeah. Be prepared.
Yeah, and we're going to be collaborating on some future things, so stay tuned for
yes,
that.
We're very excited
We're very
about that.
excited. We're kind of like, why haven't we done this sooner?
I know.
But that's okay.
It's fun.
You'll have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
And Allie's on the membership this month, so she gives some exclusive workouts for our members.
Just for you guys.
Yeah. So I'll link them below. I'll link all her stuff below. But thanks, Allie.
Thank you
for coming on here.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Love
and
the
stay
Cam
tuned
fam.
for our fun stuff.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff. I can't wait.
So anyway, bye y'all. That was so inspiring, right? You're so good at this.